Reading through the Bible in a year, September 14th, 2 Samuel chapter 10, 2 Corinthians chapter 3, Ezekiel 17, and Psalms 60 through 61. Now it happened afterwards that the king of the sons of Ammon died, and Hanun his son became king in his place. So David said, I will show loving kindness to Hanun, the son of Nahash, just as his father showed loving kindness to me. So David sent to comfort him concerning his father by the hand of his servants. And David's servants came to the land of the sons of Ammon. But the princes of the sons of Ammon said to Hanun their lord, In your eyes is David honoring your father because he has sent comforters to you? Has not David sent his servants to you in order to search the city, to spy it out and overthrow it? So Hanun took David's servants and shaved off half their beards, and cut off their garments in the middle, as far as their hips, and sent them away. Then they told it to David, and he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly dishonored. And the king said, Stay at Jericho until your beards grow, and then return. Then the sons of Ammon saw that they had become odious to David. So the sons of Ammon sent and hired the Arameans of Beth Rahab, and the Arameans of Zobah, 20,000 foot soldiers, and the king of Maacah with 1,000 men, and the men of Tob with 12,000 men. Then David heard of it, and sent Joab and all the army, the mighty men. And the sons of Ammon came out and arranged themselves for battle at the entrance of the gate of the city. But the Arameans of Zobah and of Rahab, and the men of Tob and Maacah were by themselves in the field. Then Joab saw that the battle was set against him from the front and from the rear. So he chose from all the choice men of Israel, and they arranged themselves to meet the Arameans. But the remainder of the people he put in the hand of Abishai his brother, and he arranged them to meet the sons of Ammon. And he said, If the Arameans are too strong for me, then you shall save me. But if the sons of Ammon are too strong for you, then I will come to save you. Be strong, and let us show strength for the sake of our people and for the cities of our God. And may Yahweh do what is good in his sight. So Joab and the people who were with him drew near for battle against the Arameans, and they fled before him. Now the sons of Ammon saw that the Arameans had fled, so they also fled before Abishai, and came into the city. Then Joab returned from fighting against the sons of Ammon, and came to Jerusalem. Then the Arameans saw that they had been defeated by Israel, so they gathered themselves together, and Hadadezer sent and brought out the Arameans who were beyond the river. And they came to Halam, and Shobach, the commander of the army of Hadadezer, led them. And it was told to David, so he gathered all Israel together, and crossed the Jordan, and came to Halam. And the Arameans arranged themselves to meet David, and fought against him. But the Arameans fled before Israel, and David killed of the Arameans 700 charioteers and 40,000 horsemen, and struck down Shobach, the commander of their army, and he died there. Then all the kings, the servants of Hadadezer, saw that they were defeated by Israel. So they made peace with Israel, and served them. And the Arameans were afraid to save the sons of Ammon any more. Move on to 2 Corinthians chapter 3. Paul continues, Are we beginning to commend ourselves again? Or do we need, as some, letters of commendation to you or from you? You are our letter, having been written in our hearts, known and read by all men, being manifested that you are a letter of Christ, ministered to by us, having been written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of hearts of flesh. And such confidence we have through Christ toward God. Not that we are sufficient in ourselves to consider anything as coming from ourselves, but sufficiency is from God. Our sufficiency is from God, who also made us sufficient as ministers of a new covenant, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. Remember, we talked about this when we went through Romans chapters 3 through 5. Verse 7, but if the ministry of death in letters, having been engraved on stones, came with glory, so that the sons of Israel could not look intently at the face of Moses because of the glory of his face, which was being brought to an end, how will the ministry of the Spirit not be even more in glory? This is talking again about how when Moses would come back from meeting with God and his face would glow and shine. When he came down the mountain the second time with the tablets of stone, his face was glowing from the glory of God, reflecting that which he had absorbed while he was there. Verse 9, for if the ministry of condemnation has glory, how much more does the ministry of righteousness abound in glory? For indeed, what has been glorious in this case has no glory because of the glory that surpasses it. For if that which was being brought to an end was with glory, much more that which remains is in glory. Therefore, having such a hope, we use great boldness, and are not like Moses, who used to put a veil over his face so that the sons of Israel would not look intently at the consequences of what was being brought to an end. But their minds were hardened. For until this very day, at the reading of the Old Covenant, the same veil remains unlifted, because it is brought to an end in Christ. But to this day, wherever Moses is read, a veil lies over their heart. But whenever a person turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away, it is lifted. Now, the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as from the Lord, the Spirit. Bringing up the rest of the notes here for you. Strongly recommend reading the notes in this section. This is a great section to go through repeatedly. Let's go on to Ezekiel 17. Now the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, propound a riddle, and speak a parable to the house of Israel. And you will say, Thus says Lord Yahweh, a great eagle with great wings and long pinions and full plumage of many colors came to Lebanon and took away the top of the cedar. He plucked off the topmost of its young twigs and brought it to a land of merchants, and he set it in a city of traders. He also took some of the seed of the land and planted it in a field fit for seed. He placed it beside abundant waters. He set it like a willow. Then it sprouted and became a low, spreading vine with its foliage turned toward him. But its roots remained under it. So it became a vine and yielded shoots and sent out branches. But there was another great eagle, with great wings and much plumage. And behold, this vine bent its roots toward him and sent out its foliage toward him from the beds where it was planted, that he might water it. And it was planted in a good field beside abundant waters, that it might yield branches and bear fruit and become a majestic vine. Say, Thus says Lord Yahweh, will it succeed? Will he not pull up its roots and cut off its fruit so that it dries up, so that all its sprouting leaves dry up? And neither by great strength nor by many people can it be raised from its roots again. Behold, though it is planted, will it succeed? Will it not completely dry up as soon as the east wind strikes it? Dry up on the beds where it sprouted? Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Say now to the rebellious house, Do you not know what these things mean? Say, Behold, the king of Babylon came to Jerusalem, and took its king and its princes, and brought them to him in Babylon. He took one of the royal seed and cut a covenant with him, and brought him under oath. He also took away the dominant one of the land. that the kingdom might become lowly, not lifting itself up, but keeping his covenant that it might continue. But he rebelled against him by sending messengers to Egypt that they might give him horses and many troops. Will he succeed? Will he who does such things escape? Can he indeed break the covenant and escape? As I live, declares Lord Yahweh, surely in the country of the king who made him king, whose oath he despised and whose covenant he broke, in Babylon he shall die. This is speaking of King Zedekiah. Remember this as we read through what happened to him in the book of Jeremiah. And Pharaoh, with his mighty military force and great assembly, will not help him in the war. When they cast up ramps and build siege walls to cut off many lives. Now he despised the oath by breaking the covenant, and behold, he pledged his allegiance, yet did all these things. He shall not escape. Therefore, thus says Lord Yahweh, as I live, surely my oath which he despised and my covenant which he broke, I will put on his head. I will spread my net over him, and he will be caught in my snare. Then I will bring him to Babylon, and enter into judgment with him there regarding the unfaithful act which he has committed against me. All the choice men and all his troops will fall by the sword, and the remnant will be scattered to every wind, and you will know that I, Yahweh, have spoken. Thus says Lord Yahweh, I will also take a sprig from the lofty top of the cedar and set it out. I will pluck from the topmost of its young twigs a tender one, and I will plant it on an exalted and lofty mountain. On the high mountain of Israel I will plant it, that it may lift up boughs and yield fruit, and become a majestic cedar. The birds of every kind will dwell under it, and they will dwell in the shade of its branches. And all the trees of the field will know that I am Yahweh. I will bring down the exalted tree, exalt the low tree, dry up the green tree, and make the dry tree flourish. I am Yahweh. I have spoken, and I will do it. Let's conclude today in Psalms 60 through 61. O God, you have rejected us. You have broken us. You have been angry. O restore us. You have made the land quake. You have split it open. Heal its breaches, for it shakes. You have caused your people to see hardship. You have given us wine to drink that causes reeling or staggering. You have given a banner to those who fear you. You have given in order to flee to it from the bow, Selah, that your beloved may be rescued. Save with your right hand and answer us. God has spoken in his holiness. So I will exalt. I will portion out Shechem and measure out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the helmet of my head. Judah is my scepter. Moab is my washbowl. Over Edom I shall throw my shoe. Make a loud shout, O Philistia, because of me. Who will bring me into the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Have you yourself, O God, not rejected us? And will you, O God, not go forth with our armies? O give us help against the adversary, for salvation by man is worthless. Through God we shall do valiantly, and it is he who will tread down our adversaries. Now Psalm 61. Hear my cry of lamentation, O God. Give heed to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been a refuge for me, a tower of strength before the enemy. Let me sojourn in your tent forever. Let me take refuge in the shelter of your wings. Selah. For you, O God, have heard my vows. You have given me the inheritance of those who fear your name. You will add days to the king's life. His years will be from generation to generation. He will sit enthroned before God forever. Appoint loving kindness and truth that they may guard him. So I will sing praise to your name forever, as I pay my vows day by day. That's it. That's all the reading and also all of the notes for today. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Behold, the word of the Lord.